Reeker, I mean, they did go 3-0 in the final Super Week. Obviously playing 3 games of TF. Maybe Mac and the coaches didn't see enough kind of established in this player and established in the team from spring to take them to summer and push towards Worlds, which I expect their goal to be. Nisqy, he's been sitting at home streaming, playing solo queue, got rank 1 on the ladder. A lot of experience from Fnatic, and Mad Lions think that the injection of Nisqy will rise into playoffs.
I thought, to be honest, that our play just as a team and individual would be way worse than what it is now, but I feel like everyone's trying so much more. I didn't expect our games to be kind of clean. We, I guess, improved on a lot as well during the off season, but we already had like a really good basis, and I think that's why I didn't really understand how they did not like work that well last split.
Fortunately, the Mad Lions did not make it to the playoffs.
So fitting into the team, I think, was pretty easy for me, because I feel like the role I had to fit in was kind of what I'm good at. Helping with jungle, helping communication in mid-game, kind of bringing the mood up when it's bad. It felt good from the beginning also, because I didn't really have to change my play style or like my way of communicating, my way of being. I was just being myself, and it seems to be working.
I mean, it's been a bit of a blessing having Nisqy in our team. I think he brings a lot of positivity and good energy. Just not only the players, also the coaching staff. I think they fit really well, and Mac and Nisqy have already worked together in Splice, so they already knew each other, and they're just really cool to work with.
Perks looking to get it across the wall. He's knocked up. Look at the damage of the Perks. The Emperor's Divide goes back. He pops the subwatch at Elyoya in the midst of them all as he's healed off by Kaiser. Shut down goes over to Armut. There's 2 as Kaiser takes another. Albarmi joins, but it's too little, too late. It's roast boar for Mad Lions as they shut down Vitality.
When people come like underrated, or like when they think I was not one of the best mid laners, I don't really care. For me, the public opinion does not matter as long as what I say and what I believe in is true. And also, like, usually I don't really like to say I'm like one of the best or the best. You just show it on the Rift, and as my fans don't give up on me, and like my family, or like just people that follow me basically and cheer on me, as long as they're there, it gives me more motivation than anything else.
All it took was one objective, and then they find the one that matters most. Rogue with their first win of summer.
First one was to Rogue. I think that was one we actually needed. We were playing the game a bit too fast, we were a bit too hyped, and we wanted to kind of close the game pretty fast. That loss made us play better and just play slower in mid-game. We know they don't deserve to win, like it sucks, but at the end we learn.
Unforgiven on the flank, finds the fight that Mad Lions were looking for.
To Anel through that roster, man looking to secure another win.
If I don't make Worlds, then that would be, I guess, a failure on my part, because I think anything I bring inside of the game, outside of the game, is enough or should be enough to go to Worlds. That's my hope for this team, and I think we will make it if we keep going on this trend.
And welcome back to Berlin, Germany for Star Guardian Week. I'm Star Guardian interview at Quickshot. In just a moment, Mad Lions will be taking on Team BDS, and we're working through a few technical issues, so I'm hoping Kobbe's with me, and I'm hoping Kobbe can hear me. Kobbe, first of all, congratulations on win. How the hell did you do that?
I don't know, honestly. I do know. We had a good draft, and I think we played pretty poorly throughout most of the game. We played way too scared, even though we were playing from home. But in the end, we managed to get it together, like in the good old days. It was kind of a splice game, I would say.
Kind of a splice game. I actually really like that. Kobbe, when you were saying you're playing a bit too scared, there's a few fans in the audience that had a very loud yes, yes. I want to show you some of the gold lead that had been accrued. And you managed to come back from an 11.6 1,000 gold deficit. So if production can bring up that post-game breakdown for me. Throughout the course of the game, it felt as though Excel were kind of stalling out or slowing down, and then you were able to start punishing them. But look at that gold graph. What specifically allowed you to pick those things up, or like how big were the mistakes from Excel?
I think Excel generally played the map better than we did, and we were way too like undecisive on our moments. But in the end, I think we were just able to win the game because of the draft, and like later in the game, we're just way stronger into them, so they had to split us up and play on all 3 lanes, because in team fights they can't win really.
I actually have a few team fights I want to break down. Let me ask production to bring the replays up, and I just want to tell me, what are the emotions going through your mind when you see that gold graph? First of all, you know you win the game, and then there's a nice Kobbe triple, I think, to round it out. What was the communication like? Because you're quite calm and collected. It was a challenging win, but it's still a win.
Okay, so honestly, the comms were maybe not the best throughout the entire game, not the highest energy as well. But as soon as we won that team fight and realized we could end the game, I think there was so much stress on people. They were just like, everyone was relieved. So one guy starts screaming and then we all start screaming. So that's basically what happened. It was pretty funny.
And of course, coming into the week, a little bit of challenges in terms of just health, playing from home. Did that impact like the mood? Did it impact the prep, especially after break week as well?
It definitely did. We tried to do the best with the situation, but honestly, it was very, like a really bad situation what happened. We lost so much time from it, and it was just, it's frustrating for everyone, but like all we have to do is just put it aside and do our best in the game. But I don't want to put everything on that though for our performance, but it was definitely not the best game. I'm just really happy we managed to win anyway.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, Kobbe. I think I'd like to feel a little bit more happiness. So I want to try to give you some good news here, right? Throughout the spring season, Astralis managed to accrue 3 wins. And today with this win picking up the 4th, you now have more wins than the entirety of 8 weeks of spring. And when we look at this Astralis roster, when we look at the competition in summer, how far is this team going to go?
I would say we're going to make playoffs as a first. I obviously want to do more than this. I think we had a really good start coming into the split, and then we had a bad week 3. And now I think we need to keep improving, because we had like 2 weeks where we didn't improve too much. But I would definitely say playoffs is the first thing we're aiming at. Just for the org, for the team, is like not the usual thing that happens here. So yeah, that's first step.
Well, definitely on the path to that 4-4. Congratulations on the win. Just before I go to Vedius, he doesn't like my outfit, and he said I wouldn't be allowed into the Star Guardians. Kobbe, yes or no? Do you think they'd let me in?
I really like it.
Thank you, Kobbe.
It looks amazing.
Thank you. Congratulations on the win. We're going to head over to Vedius to get us into Mad Lions versus BDS.
Trevor, you should be forbidden from peer pressuring pro players into doing what you want. It's very unfair. Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit ahead of the matchup that we have coming up next, which is Team BDS versus the Mad Lions. So, Mads, let's have a look at where they are in the standings, because you see a 4-3 scoreline, or you're about to, because this is a bit of a sneak peek as to what we're going to be talking about a little bit later on. Mad Lions find themselves at about in the middle of the pack, but I think this is deceptive as to how good this team actually is, because when we look back at their losses, they lost once to Rogue at the beginning of the split, to an Elder steal. They also lost to XL, where they did get smashed, and then they lost to Misfits. In fact, we can actually look at some of these early game advantages that they were able to accrue against both Rogue and Misfits, in that they were surprisingly dominant. Look at these peak goal differences that they had. 6.2k versus Rogue, 7k versus Misfits. And look at how quickly these goal differences accrued throughout the game. Mad Lions is a surprisingly dominant early game team, and typically they use this early game dominance to snowball and defeat their opposition. But sometimes, and in some of their losses, we see some of that over-eagerness, as Nisqy talked about earlier, to their detriment. So let's have a look back at this play versus Rogue. So you may all remember this play, and Mad basically with their massive gold lead and the fact that they know they're in a good position, want to try and force the Elder. The problem with rushing this down is all they have to be wary of is this player right here in Malrang. And they have to make sure that he can't get close enough to the dragon in order to be able to smite it. Unfortunately for them, he does exactly that. He gets a smite off, and just in the nick of time, this ultimate comes through from Comp to be able to steal away this Baron. Now, ultimately, what this play boils down to is Mad trying to overforce an objective when they don't really need to. They had plenty of other options left. They could have been a little bit more patient and leveraged the fact that they have an open inhibitor down towards the bot side of the map. They could look to gain a little bit more prio in mid. Maybe they could even play through top. There was so much of the map that they could have tried to play through rather than just try and force this objective. Let's jump ahead to our next clip where they actually played up against Misfits and did a very similar thing. Here in the top lane, and again, remember that gold lead that they had? They find themselves in a really commanding position, 24 minutes in with a Baron buff. And I want to once again draw your attention to the minimap. They have plenty of options here. They could look to try and leverage pressure through the mid lane. They have a lot of top lane control, and they could try and split Misfits up, but instead they choose to try and force a fight up here towards the top side of the map. And as the fight plays out, like, a lot of credit needs to be given to the teamfight execution from Misfits, but but this was the one decision that Mad made that could have given Misfits a very clear window back into the fight. And keep your eyes here on Schlatter and a beautiful 4-man kick coming over the top of the Mad Lions. The main point and the main takeaway that I want to get here is that a lot of these losses are kind of at Mad's own volition. It is a choice that they made that ended up costing them the game, and the similarities that we see in both of these losses is that they overforced. The reason why I wanted to draw attention to this is, yes, this is something that ideally they can look to fix and work upon moving towards the future, but their coaching staff has a proven track record of, during the regular season, very quickly identifying problems and then fixing them. I think this Mad Lions roster is a lot stronger than what their scoreline suggests, and I think that they are a roster that, as the season progresses, will only get scarier and scarier. Let's see if they can maintain that level of performance as they go up against BDS today. Caedrel and Drakos, over to you.
Thank you very much, Vedi. Fantastic breakdown of the two massive throws that Mad Lions brought to the table across those games. Now, here's the thing. When a team throws like that, when they should win a game, it's like really hard to go into every game and be like, they're surely going to win. Because I can tell you, they're surely going to build a massive gold lead like they did against Misfits, like they did against Rogue. They'll surely be close, but they may also just throw it away. And that's the thing that makes me very nervous about Mad Lions, is that even when they were winning, last year, their mid games were still shaky here and there. They still had moments where they just absolutely griefed it.
Yeah, but the Mad Lions of old, I remember the team kind of losing in the early stages and winning in team fights, right?
Sure,
Whereas Rogue was the Rogue time team. You know, there's inevitably going to be a time in the game where they just throw it all away. And now it feels like Mad Lions are picking that up. I don't want to jump to conclusion. There's only 2 games. And of course, when you're a newer team, having a good fundamental in the early game is fantastic. It's about learning the mid to late game macro and how you want to communicate and move around the map. That's what basically dictates how you play the game and how you snowball these leads. So it looks like, from what Vedius has broken down there, fantastic breakdown, they just get very kind of narrow-minded when it comes to the later stages. They see an objective like Elder, they're like, we need Elder.
Tunnel
get
vision.
Elder now. They tunnel vision too much, and they think this is the only play, we need to get it now. But like Vedius pointed out, you can push out other lanes and force them to show somewhere, get numbers advantage, get a bit creative with it.
They're gamblers,
Yeah.
which is a great trait when you're behind in a game and an absolutely awful trait when you're ahead. That said, we'll see what the adaptation is today. Again, want to remind people that because of the break week, and a lot of these teams really didn't take much of a break, maybe 1 extra day, maybe 2, still scrimming throughout that break week. I'm curious to see how deep the meta adaptation will go, and especially curious to see how much Team BDS have been able to develop, because we know they went to Korea. We know that they expected to hit the ground running. We expected them to hit the ground running with that kind of boot camp in the same way that Excel did. Sadly, that was not the case. So as weeks go on, BDS are certainly running out of time to show us that best form, that best version of themselves, because where they are right now in the standings, already in week 4, we can start to talk about them being worried about getting knocked out of playoffs, being worried about not being in the running. Statistically, obviously, pretty far from being out, but when you see the level of performance, it's hard to have a lot of faith in this team.
Yeah, there was a bit of faith towards their week 2, week 3 performance with the game against Fnatic, that they were so close to winning. 54-minute game, upset stealing Baron. They beat G2 the day before, right? That was the miracle weekend where you think, oh, BDS actually look very competitive. Then you go into the next week and they go up against Misfits, who was, I believe, hadn't picked up a single win yet. They lost that game pretty handily. XL demolished them in 24 minutes. Like, then all the signs of life from BDS just slowly disappeared. So it's a bit of a contrast in what both these teams want to show. BDS want to show that they're competitive. Mad Lions want to continue to show their early game dominance and show that they've been working on these mid to late game mistakes. And I mean, a week break helps a lot when it comes to mentality, taking a break, relaxing, or fixing issues and getting hard at work as to where they're going wrong. I'm sure the coaching staff was looking at those mid to late game mistakes over the break, identifying ways that they can implement systems to actually solve those, or just kind of plaster over them as they go through summer to pick up these best of ones. Because once you're in playoffs, then you can start to be a little bit more creative.
Yep, and just a reminder again, week 4, the final week in the first round robin. So these are the last 2 opponents standing in front of Mad Lions. So we get ready for picks and bans. The Bears are on stage, and they're ready. They're ready to draft Volibear, maybe. Annie, Bear themed champions. Brace yourself.
Little Starguard week.
Smooth stylings of the Star Guardian music this week.
I like it. It's always very groovy.
I wonder how many Bear champions. I'm waiting for the Bear champion. I'm riding that joke.
We will
Gragas, Braum,
Gragas,
GP,
Bear.
Volibear.
Why is Gragas?
A lot of kinds of bears, Caedrel.
Why is Gragas a bear?
Ezreal, Callista. That joke
You're
wasn't
just
for
trolling
you.
me. You're just trolling me. There's the bear.
There he is.
Banned
Not
away.
allowed. The players on stage. Of course, players playing from home. There was some COVID concerns. First game, there was airport issues. Second game, there's a bit of COVID concerns. But game 3, 4, and 5, players will be back on stage.
Hell
In the
yeah.
meantime, we'll see what the draft strategy is going to be. Callista getting banned away. Callista, a champion that must be dominating scrims. While personally, we've yet to see that really impact stage. Can't understand wanting to take it away from Unforgiven, and Kaiser gives Kaiser that much more playmaking. Renata also going to hit the bench along with GP.
Yeah, I think the blue side Callista ban just spells to me that BDS don't actually play it. I mean, Matty hasn't played it once yet, and Unforgiven has one game on it and lost, so maybe they're struggling against Callistas and scrims, and they feel like they don't want to play it themselves. So we'll see what the last ban here is. Lucian's still up with Callista Ezreal being down. We didn't see much Zeri or Senna last game. We'll see if either of these teams go towards it. Wukong, of course, incredibly strong, and there's a Poppy ban, which has also been a kind of flavor of the month jungle for a lot of teams. Blind pick Poppy jungle. Damwon are doing it. T1 were doing it a bit.
I still
LPL
remember
teams.
Peanuts absolutely nutso.
Peanuts.
Poppy jungle pathing, flashing over a dragon wall at
Hell
level
yeah.
2.
Hell yeah. And of course, oh no.
Oh no.
It's not Bear Week.
There
It's
you
Cat
go.
Week.
It's Cat Week.
There's.
I have no idea why you're cheering for Yuumi, but I respect you immensely, crowd.
Wait, Yumi's way taller than I thought when she was standing up there.
Yeah, dude.
Holy.
What?
All right, well. There's a Yuumi. We'll see what they pair it with. Ezreal's been banned away, so it's likely going to be a Zeri or a Twitch. We haven't seen either of them from Matty so far. Lucian could work. We'll see if Mad Lions opt to take it away. We haven't seen Lucian from Unforgiven either. They're going to take away the Zeri, so maybe BDS can opt into a Twitch here.
xMatty, Erdote. That's an impressive bot lane in terms of raw power, the potential to stealth and roam around, but Unforgiven obviously has been doing some work on this champion.
I think Wukong here is a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it? When Volibear is banned, go Wukong here and pick Nautilus on 3. I think Mad Lions will be very happy with some kind of teamfight comp like that. They could also just... Oh no.
Ooh.
Are we going to get Zeri Lulu?
Enchanter versus Enchanter. That's what I think of when I think of EU supports. Let's do it!
Okay,
No
so...
engage options! Woo!
So maybe it's going to be Twitch Yuumi versus Zeri Lulu. A little bit of scaling, 2 enchanters, waiting for those supportive items for the team. Of course, we've seen Lehens go things like the Luden's Yuumi, full damage. We've even seen magical footwear on Yuumis, which is interesting to say the least. Regardless, anyway, BDS here. I mean, Wukong is just a no-brainer for BDS as well, surely,
you keep
right?
saying that, and it keeps not happening.
Oh my god, it's going to be a Gnar instead. Are they going to pick their AD? It's going to drop to 4-5. They are going to have to pick their AD. So it's, what is it, the LCS Emily drew this awesome thing, the rat and the cat?
The rat and the cat. Yeah, the rat and the cat. Written by Dr. Aframu.
Dr. Aframu, Rat and the Cat has been picked up. You know what I would like here from Elyoya? A Jarvan, actually. You know, Jarvan and Twitch.
Lock down those immobile champions.
Yes. Because, of course, the Twitch will be incredibly... Ornn.
Ornn is all right, too.
Ornn is all right as well. We saw his top matchup last game, right? It doesn't really need much explanation if you were here for last game, if you were here for any game with Gnar versus Ornn.
But this time, in response, which is especially bold from Armut, and it's interesting because we have all these points prepared for Armut, how well he's been playing, big damage, big gold differences, and the second he picks Ornn, we just know we're not going to see that this game because we saw previously how hard this lane phase, how hard this matchup can be. But in the end, it might not matter. Armut has always been the teamfighting god, now has his chance to play another teamfighting pick.
Smart ban there by Mad Lions. Take away the Trundle, which is what XL 1-2'd when they saw the Ornn straight away. You know what I want to see, Drakos? I want to see an Ornn flex mid on red side. Fate did it against T1 and actually took a game off them, which meant that they won the best of 3. So we'll see if we get a little bit of Ornn flexing here. Nisqy, definitely the player that I would think of when I think of some kind of like wacky pick.
You want to see an Ornn flex?
Yeah. I don't know if it'll happen in this game. Probably not, but it would look cool.
Someone get Vedi. I think my
you know
my casting partners.
You know what's open? And with Ari and Silas banned?
Is it Lissandra?
Nope. Corki.
Oh.
Could we get Corki, Ornn, Lulu, Zeri? That would be,
Why does every pick you talk about make me sadder?
I mean, it's really good for Mad Lions here. I mean, if you need to win the game, that's exactly what you pick. But then you're last picking jungle, which doesn't make much sense. So yeah, just picking Diego here is the no-brainer here for Mad Lions. So both these teams already going for a lot of team fight. There's even more team fight, as Elyoya is going to go for the blind pick Lee Sin. We'll see how Cinkrof can pick here. We've seen his Skarner, which I really liked against Fnatic. Although they lost the game, it had so much impact.
Yeah, definitely a difficult champion. Creates a lot of space as long as that ulti's up and available. Limits a lot of what Lee Sin's able to do if you just, you know, input buff for that ult the second he's anywhere near you.
Yep.
Combo is going to get interrupted. What is the option going to be from Team BDS? Strong core with the Twitch Yuumi. Decent topside matchup. How are they going to round out the rest of this composition?
Oh,
Swain. All right, sustained damage in the team fight.
you want to know a little fun fact?
Sure.
That is another unique champion for NUCLEARINT.
This man.
That's his 8th unique champion this split so far.
And I like that they're mixing it up because you're trying to find the thing that works.
Yeah.
And if Skarner is the thing that works,
Scar.
I know one person in the entire world who will be happy about it.
Is he gonna go Jarvan into Zeri, Lee Sin, Ornn? Not a huge fan of that. I think the Skarner would work better, but I guess they want more of a reliable engage tool. I think Mad Lions here need to adapt and think of a champion in mid with mobility that actually has good scaling in teamfight as well. I think they need to opt into that kind of pool. If you pick Orianna or Victor here or some kind of control mage, you're just giving them a free Lissandra. Perfect when it comes to mobility. Azir would be great. Anything with teamfight, anything with something to get out of the Jarvan ult. So we'll keep track of this. I mean, we saw Malrank's Jarvan, but he was against Lee Sin, Rakan, Zeri, Gnar, something like this. So much mobility.
And we talked about this on the podcast, is that you have to be really crazy to pick not only an off-meta champion, but an off-meta champion into a bunch of champions who are naturally unconcerned with what your kit brings to the table. Lee Sin, Lissandra, Zeri is just going to leap over that wall, no question.
Yep.
Now still, obviously a very high impact early game. Champion, flag drag, plus or minus a flash, always going to be big. Cataclysm is going to matter, but keeping our eyes on BDS in these fights and how they make use of this pick.
Definitely will. Mad Lions, of course, big team fight. Team BDS, big team fight. Agresivoo will have a little bit of side push into the Ornn. We saw the power of the Gnar being able to move mid first on the 4v4 and actually clean up. So I'm sure BDS will keep track of the Ornn movement and make sure Agresivoo is always there first. So a little bit of side push. And of course, Manny on the Twitch means you can play for those side lane picks. You know how many times we've seen a Twitch just go in stealth onto a side lane and try to gank someone in mid game.
Keep track of time for BDS versus the Mad Lions. Team fight versus team fight. As we set foot onto the rift here. Maddie already going invisible.
Maybe wants to get a little bit of gold for the Yuumi with the support item. Let's see what happens here.
Stealthing, waiting.
The rat and the cat, and they run out. So, early mid jungle, definitely in favor of Mad Lions, even level 6. Lee Sin, Lissandra, so much burst, especially Nisqy here playing with Spellbook. Normally you see Lissandra take Spellbook with TP. This time he's got Ignite, so he wants early kill pressure. We'll see if Elyoya visits towards mid. Would be the best lane to move towards. And Cinkrof will have to match that. He'll need to find Elyoya. Jarvan, of course, extremely strong in the early game. Maybe Mad Lions want to drop some wards for the level 2 Jarvan.
Trying to get as much information as they can. Again, because we have two compositions where it's going to be about team fighting Lissandra, Ornn versus the likes of an Ornn J4 Twitch. Early game is even more important. These edges, these item spikes early on, finding bigger leads. So it isn't just a full-on 5v5 at every objective. It's going to be big. Looking at top side. Again, we've talked about Armut a decent amount recently because he's been on a bit of a tear. This is a guy who was often criticized for his laning, but recently has been doing pretty fantastically in terms of damage output. His GP last week was a pleasure to watch. Obviously, when you're playing the Ornn, it's not going to be the same role and responsibility, but I feel like Armut stocks are on the rise, and curious to see what he can do up against Agresivoo here after we saw this matchup go so poorly for the Ornn in our previous game.
Yeah, and it was mentioned before, but I'll just touch on it again. I mean, champion pool was always the biggest crutch for Armut when it came to, like, 5v5s in drafts and things like this. They would always have to early rotate the Gnar or blind pick the Wukong at MSI last year, and it was not optimal. It's not something you really wanted. But with Gwen coming out, GP being buffed, he really has found his champion pool. Now picking up the Ornn, which he's currently sitting on 100% win rate on this split, he's definitely found his groove in the current meta.
So he has. Early lane phase, though, you can see Agresivoo just fighting for a bit of push. Kaiser and Unforgiven trading back and forth. Nisqy getting a fast level 2 in the mid lane, but trading a bit of health here is Kaiser just trying to poke out the rat and the cat. And again, this mid lane, or the bot lane rather, gets pretty explosive around level 6. A stealthed up Twitch with a Yuumi snare on top of it can always be terrifying. Have the additional summoner spell, but expect Lulu to have more raw laning combat power early on.
Yeah, and a little bit of trading in mid, and we'll keep our eyes on Nisqy as well, because he was doing so much work in their Misfits game. Despite them having lost that game, he was playing Lissandra, he was roaming around the map absolutely everywhere. Top, mid, bot, every single second of every wave. I'm sure he wants to do the exact same here, and Elyoya already looking to invade Cinkrof, trying to get a bit of information. He knows the Raptors are up, he could just take them away, so Cinkrof went red, wolves, blue, Gromp, skipped his Raptors, and now he's hovering around the top side. I don't think they can dive Armut, so this should just be a winning trade for Elyoya here if he just takes the Krugs as well. It's a 2-for-1 camp trade, and then Elyoya can full clear to level 4.
I mean, yeah, very solid early start for the Lee Sin. Moves in, keep his jungle clear going. Don't think he'll go for Krugs here, but just goes back into his own jungle. Will build up a CS lead. For now, it's relatively even.
Elyoya, you can't be doing that.
I love the observers today. They followed it like Finn through the entirety of bottom lane after he whoopsied the tower. They're following Elyoya. It's savage. The observers are savage.
They are savage, aren't they? I mean, of course, doesn't mean anything, but it's still every now and then you gotta get your peck out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without pro view, these are the things that the observers have to do. They have to remind us. Pro players are human too, you know?
Yeah, one of those things you'll just laugh off. So yeah, if you look at options as well, just talking about Elyoya's pathing, why is he pathing bot? I mean, the only options that Cinkrof have this game are bot. I mean, immobile Lulu, level 3, 1 EQ, he's probably going to die. Nisqy's going to be safe and very self-sufficient with the mobility he has, and Armut's going to be under his tower all game. So all Elyoya wants to achieve with his pathing is just to cover his bot lane, get a little bit of information. You can see the wards they have in his jungle already here, Cinkrof, and then just try to take a good base for his bot lane, make sure they can keep up in bases, keep up in tempo in that lane, and make sure that they can get as much vision as possible.
Absolutely. And I think for NUCLEARINT, he has to be very careful, especially around level 6. Does not have a cleanse. And there's an Ignite on the side of Nisqy, which mitigates any potential healing that he could bring through by trying to early ult in the event of a gank, so something to watch for sure. Level advantage for Elyoya. Missing another Q, of course, because Cinkrof has already pulled the camp. Battle over the Raptors.
So Cinkrof actually has based. He's got double Ruby Crystal. So if he was to take that fight, it would be slightly in his favor, but because he's down a level, he doesn't look like he's very confident enough to go for it. I mean, there's a bit of mid-push going in Nisqy's favor, and he's level 3, right? He'll die so quickly in one combo. Again, Kaiser trying to get as much information bot side. That's all Mad Lions want to do. Information bot side, Armut sit under your tower, Elyoya, make sure you're always first to any play, and then the Jarvan will slowly fall behind. Why? Because Jarvan's clear speed just gets slower and slower. You're building tank. And that's the problem. You always see Jarvans at around 15 to 20 minutes when they're bot lanes towards mid. They take your camps because you're just EQR stopwatch. That's your job. You living for a couple seconds longer won't change much. Your carries just need as much damage as possible. So he'll be a bit of a dog jungler this game. I've been in that position many a times when it comes to tank jungles. And yeah, Cinkrof just needs to find some kind of play. I mean, early game needs to get a flash, needs to get an ult off when he gets level 6, needs to try and force something to help his team out. Otherwise, a Jarvan pick nets you nothing.
Very difficult situation. Good news is, of all the carries to funnel into, Twitch is certainly one of the best. Hitting 6, going in, looking for the follow, looking for the CC, still level 5. It's a clean combo. NUCLEARINT now flashing out to safety, looking for the auto attack. Elyoya sidestep comes out. NUCLEARINT taken down. A clean first blood from the side of Mad Lions.
And it was perfectly played. Elyoya, Nisqy, great communication. You could tell by Nisqy's positioning that he was going to get level 6, because with just a root, NUCLEARINT would be fine there. But Elyoya stood far enough back that he was out of XP range, but also out of vision. And then he would just W in the second Nisqy hit the chain CC. What Nisqy did there, I would love to see the replay, is he actually used his E on the creeps, which were already low, so that as he landed, a W would kill them, so he could root him, and then level up his ult and then stun him as well. So the chain CC there, very efficient, very smart from Nisqy.
Yeah. And I mean, you watch this. Swain goes from under no threat to instantly dead.
Yeah, so watch the backline creeps. He needs those for level up. So he E's, and then W's him as well as W'ing the creeps. Gets a level up through the E, then chain CCs. Elyoya's nice smite there. Q smites away the creep to make sure it hits. Ah, just fantastic, really, isn't it?
I mean, clean mechanics on display there. And again, NUCLEARINT can't even fault him for going down to that one, because there's just so little room to outmaneuver that play other than just walking away from a wave, which you desperately need.
So, mid-jungle already found a kill. Nisqy can now swap off of that Ignite, moves to a heal, help out the mid-jungle a bit. And Cinkrof just slowly falling further and further behind. The Jarvan just falls off in the late game. He's really strong early, can find early ganks, get flashes, still hasn't found a single thing yet. Nisqy has both his sums up. Ultimate will be up soon. NUCLEARINT, no flash. So with Elyoya having kick, that basically kind of negates the Ignite being down, and then you have enough damage for a kill. So when he's level 6 and Nisqy has ult up again, Nisqy has ult again, sorry, they're just going to revisit mid.
So easy too now, especially with the Lost Chapter, means Nisqy can just essentially infinitely sustain this mid push, not going to have any mana issues. There's a Corrupting Pot on the opposite side for NUCLEARINT to fight back a bit, but next blue really does need to go over to him if he wants to match, because this is the thing we talk about when we talk about Lissandra. It's not usually the kill setup in mid, although that here is very relevant. It's the potential for roams, which we're going to see Nisqy do now, moving up to the top side. Every single time the wave is pushed, you're either setting a trap, waiting for them to misstep, or you're going to a different lane.
He's going to go top here. I think he's going to try and dodge the scuttle. No, he's going to show now. Armut's probably going to pop the ult. Can they get the kill? Agresivoo needs a good flash.
Flashing out to safety. Very early on, just has to respect it. No other major cooldowns burned. A bit of Nisqy's time. Is NUCLEARINT really trying to force this wave back in?
And now it becomes incredibly hard for Agresivoo to get a pushing lane, right? His matchup in isolation is winning, but the fact he has no flash is the next Armut's ult comes in, he's dead if he has no information on where the jungler is. So good play by Mad Lions so far. We've seen early games like this before by them where they've got incredible leads, but of course, as Vedius showed us, they throw it away. Now Cinkrof's trying his best to look for something around mid, but again, Nisqy just so mobile. I mean, he has a self-ult, a heal, a flash. There's really nothing that can be done. Stopwatch will be up soon as well. Gonna clear out a pink, and maybe he can look to force a Herald, but I feel like the 3v3 is in favor of Mad Lions. Elyoya will get spotted on the Crux. Now he'll get spotted in River as well if he walks in.
Herald obviously big for potentially breaking the game open, now spotted out. I don't think they really want to take this fight, but we're hoping to get him at least out of the area by popping the Scryer's Balloon there. Yeah, what would be ideal here for BDS, sorry, is if their bot lane was around. I think in a 5v5 situation, they stand much better chance if they can get level 6 on the Yuumi, but Mad Lions starting it up quite early on. So Cinkrof, what's the play here? He's going to hover around and watch them finish it. Crab's going to go in their favor as well. 8 seconds on his smite. He's just posturing, just hoping that they're going to back away, thinking that he can 50-50, but he just has nothing there.
This is one of the main issues. Now you'll see Cinkrof sprint towards bot perhaps and look for some kind of cross map, but if you're on the same side of the map that the enemy team's making a play and you can't contest it, you're basically doing some cinema gameplay. You're just watching them take an objective in your face, and there's nothing you can do about it. So Mad Lions, even though they're only around 800 gold up, it sounds like the game's heavily in their favor, and it is because of the way that they're playing the map and the amount of opportunities that BDS have is shrinking.
Certainly. And what's tough here is xMatty and Erdote would love to get out on the map, would love to be a part of things. They have a super strong combo, but because their top side is so quickly falling behind, because they're so under threat, there's really no space for Cinkrof to play around them without giving up something else on the opposite side of the map. And Zeri Lulu, very safe on the bottom side, can just walk away from most things. Unforgiven has the cleanse. It's a very defensive option from the bot side of Mad Lions.
So now Cinkrof options have gotten a little bit better though, because he's level 6. We'll see if he can force something bot. He'll get level 7 off this. Erdote is level 6. Now he needs to look bot. He needs to look for something onto Kaiser. You know, Unforgiven, very hard target, but killing the Lulu will be pretty easy. But we'll see what Mad Lions do here. Their bot lane's around mid, their junglers around mid. They're playing 4-man on one lane for vision. And if we could look at BDS's vision here, observers, they actually see nothing on the map. The second Nisqy pushes this wave in and disappears, you can't actually do anything when it comes to contesting vision. Cinkrof's going to try to walk up here because he spotted out Nisqy. And now it's so dangerous. You can see he's so hesitant. Where's Lissandra? What can I do? I can't really walk up. Zeri could jump over the wall at any second, but he has to do it eventually. He's waiting for Matty to push out bot.
It's literally, it's just the shining. You know what I mean? You're just waiting for someone to come through the door with a hatchet. You're just waiting. Where's the Lissandra? Where's the rest of the team waiting? The Lee Sin in the darkness, already almost with the core drinker completed.
And there's Nisqy again. He showed mid, pushed in a wave, he's disappeared again. So now you can never, I mean, a bot dive here would be fantastic. Get some sums out, they have no TPs, but it's so hard because Nisqy is just basing. But in their eyes, they're not sure. And if you're not sure, it's a risk. And risks in the early game like that are detrimental if you fall behind. So good early vision toggle there by the observers from Mad Lions. Now BDS, Drake's up in 20. They already have one. Maybe a dragon fight would be good, but then again, Cinkrof towards the top side.
And again, the reliability of Mad Lions team fight too is something to be watched. Armut's TP is going to be up first as well. It's just so hard for BDS really to find anything. Vision as well on the blue buff, and while BDS are playing with almost no information, the pressure on the top side, this ward being placed down means Mad Lions know exactly what they can do. There are no real missing members on the map except for the Gnar, who's going to show again in a moment. Mad Lions have perfect information to make their next play.
Again, if we could toggle them, actually Nisqy's going to get hit by the vision, so they will spot out Nisqy. But Mad Lions threatening a bot dive here means Matty has to back away, give up the push, and then they should be able to turn towards a Drake or a Herald bot here. And Cinkrof being top, they know he's there because blue buff was given over, so this could just be a full tower for Mad Lions. If they just hit it, pop the Herald afterwards, and it's gone. It's popped a bit early, but they should get a lot of plates for this. And I think what BDS are saying here is, okay guys, we've missed our early game options, that's fine, move on. Don't dwell on it, don't think about it, think ahead. That's what you have to do as a pro player, that's what you have to do as a team. And what are their options ahead? It's a Blade of the Ruined King Twitch, that kind of spike, Triforce on Gnar, start contesting the third dragon. That's probably what the calls are here, so Mad Lions should dictate the pace of the game for the next couple of minutes, and then we should see BDS come alive on those spikes, because for now, it looks like their options have gone.
Very, very difficult game to play out right now. And I mean, again, you look at draft, you can see a perfect world where this Twitch gets to roam around the map, where they have pressure on the bot side, and there's this unknown element, this invisible rat just waiting to pop out at any moment. But instead, Mad Lions playing incredibly well around the information, denying so much vision from the opposition. We're getting a little bit aggressive here in the mid lane, just trying to clear out a wave. But right now, Mad Lions absolutely 100% dictating the pace of this game. Almost 2K up in the lead. I mean, even on the top side, Armut not that far behind. Of course, it's going to get much harder once the Trinity Force does come through for Agresivoo. But right now, this is a pretty flawless early game coming out from the side of Mad Lions.
Definitely is, but can they transition it to a good mid to late game? Dragon's always the best form of scaling. and they've already stacked them up. And it's about showing respect as well. I mean, Unforgiven and Kaiser just taking a base there. Why? Because Elyoya needs to clear his top camps, right? And they're scared of a play. They managed to push out the waves, so there's not much threat. Agresivoo's flashes back up, so he feels a little bit more confident in his lane. That's good. That should help them in top. He can keep the push up there. And Herald's up in 1 minute 40. That could help them crack open a mid or top tower.
Also got
now quiet game.
Blade of the Rune King finally coming out alongside Rylai's, so there is some teamfight damage there, especially paired with the Spray and Pray. Trinity Force as well can help Agresivoo start to win out on that top side matchup. He'll match Armut's TP returning the top side. But I want to just remind people that as good as the early game looks, that it's looked even better in other games, and those games blew up in Mad Lions' faces. So when you said respect earlier, I think that's such an important thing to highlight, because while right now, individually, BDS are very far behind. When we look at the power of their team composition, if Mad Lions misstep, if a few kills go into the back pocket of that Twitch or that Swain, this game gets very hard very quickly. Because Elyoya, yes, he has a core drinker. He has it a little bit ahead of schedule. He's feeling great. But after that, itemization for Lissandra doesn't get much more powerful, doesn't get much more explosive. So he can't afford to make mistakes either.
I'm sure Mad Lions will be very aware of just making sure they don't make those mistakes. Play very patiently is definitely what they need to do, and that's exactly what they're doing. So BDS put 3 members mid to get some mid vision, but what will Mad Lions do? They'll push out bot, and then they'll send 4 members mid to take the mid vision. So they're not sweating too hard. 2 minutes left on that dragon. Another ward here. Kaiser's been placing this ward many times. I'm not sure how many, but that's at least the 3rd or 4th time that a ward over the wall has spotted Cinkrof, who, as we talked about, his only options are bots, but it's just shut him down so many times. And the game works in stages, right? You know, you've got the early game, got a couple of angles, couple of opportunities if you force flashes. You've got the mid game, more so dragon-centric and tier 1 trading. And then the late game, which is just all about the major neutral objectives, right? Yeah. Stage 1, of course, for BDS didn't go the way they may have planned. Didn't get any pressure on the lanes they may have wanted to. And I don't think Agresivoo got many plates. But now we're going into stage 2 here, into the mid game. They have item spikes. First items, Manny needs a pair of boots, and that's what he's building towards, get the Berserker Greaves, and then around this next dragon is where they'll fight, or around Herald. Cinkrof will find Elyoya, loses the 1v1, 2v2 also in Mad Lions' favor, I believe, with Nisqy having that Ignite.
3v3 with the Mega Gnar maybe, but seems unlikely as Agresivoo's rage is already starting to fade away. So that said, they have Prio in mid, so it does force Nisqy to respond, gives them a little bit of advantage. And here's what you talked about earlier. You were wanting to see this, bringing up full 5 members to contest the Herald using the team-fighting power of that Twitch.
The problem you have now is Mad Lions aren't even going to give you the fight. They're going to hit mid tower, they're going to hit bot tower, they're going to get first tower of the game, and you're going to get a neutral objective. But at what cost? We'll keep track of that cost, because look what Elyoya and Nisqy are doing. If you try to move bot side here to catch this wave, you're going to get dove. So I think Cinkrof might have to just pop this Herald top. And look for the cross map of tier 1s, but it looks like he's gonna save it for now. Doesn't want to use it, wants to hold it for the next dragon perhaps, to make it so contesting that objective is a bit easier. What we'll see now is Mad Lions push out this bot wave, base, and then all go towards the bot side of the map, keep this bot side vision, and try to get this 3rd dragon.
And you can see, after that loss versus Misfits, which was incredibly frustrating for the Mad Lions, they're so tempered. They are not taking, I feel like they're taking any risks. Again, we had a 1-kill game in our first game. We got a 1-kill game in our second. They are slowly but surely bleeding BDS out of the game at very little risk to themselves. It's fundamental, very clean League of Legends. And for BDS, they have to start to scramble. They have to start to find these opportunities. And honestly, they have to cross their fingers that Mad Lions overstep once or twice, that they underestimate BDS.
And this is one of the games it sucks to watch, but the coach is sitting backstage like, oh, perfect.
The armchair analysts are like, what a great game of League of Legends.
3k gold lead, 4k gold lead. Yeah, they have pushing lanes. They denied win conditions. And now BDS are going to use this Herald to get bot tier 1. And what they're going to do with this is get a pressure point on the map that they can use to their advantage to use vision over. So the tower, will it die? Mad Lions are showing numbers here, and their bot lane can collapse down. No, it won't. But it gives a window for them to contest this dragon. They can't go through mid because they show in their entire jungle, but they can go through bot and then go into the river from there. Agresivoo just holding mid, will team up with his team, and now it's the 5v5. Mad Lions want the dragon, BDS want the dragon. Execution is everything.
Again, keep your eye on the Gnar bar. 15 seconds after it fades away, he's going to have to wait till he can even start stacking rage again.
Elyoya has a really good position here. I'm not sure if he was spotted, but he could go around here, wait for Maddie's stealth. Agresivoo knows there's a flank hit happening here. He's trying to mark Elyoya, and he finds him. Really good play there. Small intricacies of the fight.
Again, now it's about the battle for mid-prio. BDS don't really want the 5-on-5 until they can stack up a Mega Gnar again. Mad Lions trying to take this opportunity to lay a bit of a trap here. Nisqy waiting over the wall, but the dragon has been aggroed. He's going to be forced to walk away from this one. Unforgiven, getting ready to kick things off. Not a lot of damage coming out from him, but already starting to lay down a bit of poke. Armut off to the side.
A lot of damage from this dragon. He's half HP from the dragon alone, below half HP. This really sucks for Nisqy. Is he going to swap to TP and TP back in? I think he's going to have to, otherwise they're just going to have to give this. He won't have Ignite for the fight, then no, he's gonna stay. So a lot of ducking, dodging, and diving here for both teams. Neither wants to start it. Hesitation on both sides. Waves being pushed. Does Nisqy have time to run from base? BDS, when they chunk out Nisqy, they should just force this objective. They have a 4v5. They have a window here to force this. They have a way in. Elyoya's giving them space, but they're still extremely hesitant.
This is big fear of commitment from both sides here.
Oh no.
Like a high school boyfriend. What? What? Dragon getting started. Nisqy, little bit of portal gaming here. Elyoya waiting for the flank. It looks like they want the full-on 5v5. That's a Yuumi final chapter now coming out. Ornn going to go across the entire team.
Oh my god!
Full value. NUCLEARINT still standing. But everybody's going to die. It's a slaughter. Nobody falls. Absolute massacre.
Everybody close your eyes. It's an instant 5-0. Mad Lions get the dragon. BDS so hesitant. The Jarvan ult was used on an Ornn. There was 5 people hitting the Ornn. All of them knocked up. Insane follow-up from Nisqy. And that's kind of one of those fights where you just put your hands on your head and you're like, now what? Because Mad Lions are going to run away with it.
Yeah, I take it back. No fear of commitment there from Mad Lions. They are ready. They're popping the question every single time we go to an objective.
They're on their knees. And BDS is on the ground.
Yeah,
they've lost all their towers. Bot tier 2, mid tier 1, top tier 1's low, 3 dragons, soul point.
Baron in 30 seconds. Zeri with 2 items. I mean, the list just goes on and on.
It's not a perfect game because they got a Herald, but it sure as hell looks like one.
Pre-Herald perfect game.
Pre-Herald perfect game.
Pre-Herald perfect game. Seasons ago.
So let's watch this again. The value of the Jarvan and Gnar here doesn't make sense because you're jumping on an Ornn. And the Ornn just pops his ult. Oh, there's the Horde.
The cinematic.
Call it in, baby.
Oh my gosh. He's not ghosted anybody. He fully goes for it.
And then Nisqy just goes for the full send down the inside. Armut's got the Lulu ult. He lives. Everyone dies.
And that's the
massacre.
And this is the thing that's so frustrating is you've got Jarvan and you've got Swain. And if you're ahead of the clock, those champions do so much damage. They're impossible to deal with. But if you're behind the clock, he did 1,000 damage. He stood there in like front of 3 people for like 6 seconds. He did 1,000 damage.
Look at Ornn damage. Hell yeah.
And this is the thing. We get such feast or famine. Like we saw the Vizicachi early game in the previous game. He was not able to do a lot until those late game stages. This game, Armut hitting multiple members with an ult, getting the knocks into the wall. That is one
good night, sweet prince.
Very dead rat.
Take the Maddie out his name because X marks the spot. He is gone.
Bars.
They're going to force Baron. 20-minute Baron. Cheeky little Baron start. Agresivoo is going to have to TP in. Cinkrof needs to find a way into this pit if he wants to steal it, of course. Elyoya.
This is the biggest flip I have seen.
Flip.
Elyoya waiting off to the side is just going to maybe look for a kick.
To engage. He's going to kick. He's going to look for a Cinkrof.
They know they're coming. On the way, Agresivoo, no Mega Gnar. Now going to kick back into the team. Whoa! Oh, the alley-oop!
No
Going for it. They're absolutely styling. NUCLEARINT, good damage. So he's got a Yuumi strap to his back. Maybe it's going to be enough. He just doesn't have the damage. The healing. He finally gets one back in return. Oh, man. Agresivoo going to run for the hills, getting a few more stacks. The Yuumi goes down, tries to body block the Q, I believe. Agresivoo.
Erdote just jumped off the roller coaster. Why did he do that?
Mad Lions are like the Harlem Globetrotters right now. It's all style.
Oh, are they going to start Baron again? Nisqy could swap the TP. Maddie, this could be your moment. This could be the montage moment.
No.
This could be the... He's a cat.
Now he's a snowman. Yeah.
They're going to chase down the snowman. Unforgiven. Doesn't have enough gap close. Surely the play is over here. NUCLEARINT has TP. They have to get out now, Mad Lions. Good force, good turn. One person dropped. But Nisqy just picked up a Rabadons at 21 minutes.
4-1-5, 4-0-7, 3-0-7. Oh my gosh, this is dominance.
So Cinkrof tries to get some vision, and then he realizes, hang on, this is a trap. I want to get out of here. Elyoya just kicks him straight back into the team. Slam dunk, he's gone. NUCLEARINT actually, for a moment here, I thought he was going to 1 versus 5 with a Yuumi. He was healing up so much, and I don't know if Mad Lions have any healing reduction or Ignite was used there. Got one, maybe an item there, and he could have killed an item more, and they could have killed them all. And I think Erdote here drops off to get the passive auto attack, and then dies to the... dies to the Lee Sin E. Maybe Agresivoo could have ran with Yuumi speeds, but he dies. And yeah, I think Mad Lions are just going to do the same thing over again. Push out mid, try to force this Nash, set up a trap and get a kill, or they could play for the Dragon Soul.
They can do whatever they want. They are very far ahead. It's 22 minutes into the game, and I'm not going to run the graphic where it shows that they threw. They have thrown twice, but...
Surely not, right?
I don't want to cast or curse it.
Surely they don't throw this game.
But this game feels very unthrowable. Their gold is literally so heavy that they cannot throw it at BDS, no matter what they do.
Tell me more.
But I have cursed better teams with bigger leads, so I don't know.
Well, NUCLEARINT has 2 items, and I don't see much healing reduction on Mad. They only have the Oblivion Orb, and they have an Ignite. Actually, Nisqy has Ignite soon as well. So yeah, there's a lot of healing reduction.
There's a lot of healing reduction, and that's going to be a Chemtech Putrefier soon, and then there will be healing reduction for everybody.
So this is awkward for BDS here, because you can't start Nash and finish it because you don't have the damage or the vision, and you can't walk into bot side because you don't have the damage or the vision to contest the 5v5. So Mad Lions own the map right now. It's just a case of executing on owning the map. Gonna push them back mid here, make sure they're around their tier 2, and then just turn towards the dragon once the waves are crashing. And by the time BDS realize it's happening, it's gone. Now they just want to engage.
Unforgiven, locked up. A lot of damage now coming up. They've used everything on Cinkrof, but they want to get the fight going. Cinkrof, is he going to get taken down? Kicked out of the fight as the Swain. Slowly but surely, the ulti will fade away. Mad Lions focusing on the remaining members. They split up BDS, and they take down 1.
Jungle's down. 15 seconds on Dragon. BDS are just going to have to give up the soul. NUCLEARINT doesn't have ult. He can't find a way in. Agresivoo might die here. Has to be very careful.
Going over the wall.
Yeah, easy does it. I mean, BDS, they had no real options left. They have to engage mid and pray that you can kill the AD carry or the mid. I mean, they hit a knock-up. Maddie?
Flash.
Armut wants it.
Oh, they spotted laser! Oh, baby!
It's like Halo, isn't it? The Spartan laser.
God, it just knocks them out.
I missed the Spartan laser.
That's the thing. You're a rat. You're worried about rat poison. You're not worried about the laser. No one expects the laser.
Pew pew goes the laser.
Yeah.
Down goes the Twitch.
Yeah.
And there goes the Dragon Soul. Now, Mad Lions don't even want to start up the Baron yet. They want to base, get a couple items. There's the Infinity Edge for Unforgiven. And man, does he deal out damage now. And it's just so painful for BDS, because after that Dragon fight, you realize that this is your fate. This is what you're going to have to play up against unless Mad make a mistake. And so far, they haven't made any. Flawless gameplay.
It's like the Black Knight from Monty Python, where like they're just like out of limbs.
Yeah.
But they're like, one more fight, we can do it. And it's like, but even
it's a flesh wound.
Yeah, it's a flesh wound, and it's like, at a certain point, you know, I respect it. But
There's no flesh.
There's no flesh left. You know, it's all gone.
Well, they're gonna have to fight this Baron. I mean, if they want any way back in the game, they have to fight it. This is the case of like, are you playing?
No,
I mean,
they
Zeri.
nerfed that. They nerfed that. It still hits like a truck.
Yeah, it hurts. This is one of those situations where are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? Because if you're playing not to lose here, stand at your tower, save your stats, and then do nothing. But if you're playing to win,
flip it.
Flip it. And, well, it's probably a 1% chance on their flip, but you got to flip that coin. BDS have to fight for this Baron. Elyoya is looking for a flank here. He's going to look for Maddie. No flash. He could just flash forward, jump, kick the rat once he shows.
Oh, there's an angle
He knows
here.
he's there somewhere.
Ornn,
there he is!
right in the middle, kicking him into the entire team. Wombo! Combo! Where you at? It's not Falco, baby! It's Mad Lions! And they're making it work!
It's over. I think they can just end 40 seconds on NUCLEARINT. Agresivoo is left against the world, and the world is coming down on him. Mad Lions only have a small wave. Cannon minion and 3 range creeps. There is a melee in there as well. A lot of tower damage. 26 minutes on the clock. 1 kill for BDS, and just a little Gnar in the way.
Yep. Unthrowable. Mad Lions.
Surely, right?
Finishing this one off in absolute style. The last few plays, just clean mechanics and a massive, massive gold lead.
Wow.
Taking them down cleanly. Mad Lions find the win, moving up to 5-3. BDS getting beaten down.
What a stomp.
My God.
My God.
I have not cast a game that one-sided in a very long time. Credit to Mad Lions for their unwavering discipline right up until they were so far ahead that they could play fights any which way they wanted.
Look at the vibes as well. Nisqy giving hugs across to everyone, just pointing at damage down. He's like, I'll damage you. And they're just laughing at each other. Yeah, but I carried the game, bro. Yeah, stat padding game, easy game for them. BDS never really stood a chance. The second the Jarvan was spotted, the game was basically over. Mad Lion just managed the vision so well, respected so well, won every side of the map. And then there was one team fight where they everyone engaged on an Ornn, but you just don't engage on an Ornn.
There you go. Back to the drawing board for BDS. Now a 4-game losing streak. We'll see what they can do in the games in the weeks to come. For now, though, it's Mad Lions Day. Kia player of the game at LEC on Twitter. Armut, Elyoya, Unforgiven. Let us know who you think deserves that one.
That's hard.
I mean, all of the team was like slowly winning, but then BDS tried to kill Armut and he didn't die, so it kind of But Armut didn't really do anything. They just kind of came into him. So it's like, who do you give credit to?
Unforgiven jumped over the wall, and then Elyoya got the kick on the Twitch.
Get
Rat
kicked,
died,
but then
that wasn't
Armut did the
Falco,
knock-up,
and
and it wasn't
I have no
Falco. Yeah, weird. Anyway, it says bye time for break, but they're playing the music that plays us off, which means we've said enough dumb stuff that they want us to leave. Anyway, Kaiser interview after the break. Don't go anywhere. Listen to the stylings of Sessions Sound Guardian as we take the break.